this is Amy. Thanks so much for stopping by. Today I'm going to show you how I paint a floral design on this glass vase. And I will be using in this design a number 8 round brush by Princeton, a number 6 Deerfoot Stippler, dotting stylus, and a number 10 flat brush by Plaid. Paint I'm using fresh foliage. All of these are folk art paints. Some might be enamel and then multi-surface paints as well. I'm using Wicker White, Thicket, Moon Yellow, Perfect Purple, a little bit of umber, Baby Pink, and last but not least, Berry Wine. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. I am going to be using the round brush, and basically I'm just going to be loading my brush with the Baby Pink and then coming back in and doing some other painting with the white and the Berry Wine as I go. Now when you're doing this design, you can just keep coming around the flower like you're going around a clock, or I'll show you on the next one another method. And you can fill in, you can add more, and I might do that as I go. But I'm going to do another one in here, and this is another way that you can do this type of a flower, is almost do like a plus sign. And that way you're kind of, you're getting your basic strokes lined up, and then you can go in here and then just keep adding them as you go. You can make some of the strokes longer or shorter, just depends on what kind of a look you're trying to get, or how do you want it to look, as far as, is it pointing a certain direction? Or what direction do you want it to be looking, facing, or whatnot. Alright, so now I'm just going to go back over it with the white. And of course this helps with durability too, because I'm making the paint a little thicker on the strokes. So that helps. I mean, if you're new to my channel, that is something I do press or stress, I should say, in my videos, is that your paint is not put on thinly on glass, because that will make it less durable. If you put it on a nice thick coat, not too thick, I mean you don't want it to bubble, but you do want it to be on the more opaque side as opposed to the transparent, unless you're using a different kind of paint which is for more the stained glass look. With this paint though, that's really not the look that you're going for, so I definitely don't recommend you doing that with this paint. This is more of a paint that you want to get some good coverage, some good durability, so that it holds up. And when you're doing on a vase, you don't have to be as concerned about that as you do if you're doing on wine glasses or drinking glasses, that kind of thing, because that's going to be something that the vase will be handled some, but not as much as, say, your drinking glass will be. Okay, so on this I'm just going to pull it in. I do have a mixture of the baby pink and the white, and I'm just pulling into the center. And there's a little layering going on here. And I am a lefty, so if my hand gets in the way of the strokes, I do apologize, but when you're left-handed, it's almost hard to keep that from happening. Now with this design, you could leave an opening in the center, because I will be tapping the center in, but you can tell with this one, you know, because I painted the design kind of in the center there to get some berry wine on here. It's not going to have a complete opening because of that part of the design. But I think they're pretty. It's a pretty design on glass. This design is just going to be painted on the front. I do wash off my glass to reuse it, and I'm just painting on the front just for the purpose of this video. And that's it. Alright, so I think I'm going to allow a little bit of drying time before I tap the center in. With the next step, I'm going to be double loading my brush. And of course you can't see it. But I'm double loading. I have this tipped a little funny here, my screen here. But I'm tipping it into the two different greens. I have them loaded up next to each other now. I can come in here, take my brush in and get more of the darker green, or come back over here and get more of the light. If I want to tap it into the yellow, just to perk up the green a little bit, I can do that, or even touch into the brown. But that's basically what I'm doing. Okay, so from this point on, I'm going to be drawing, putting in my little stems. If you're new to painting on glass, it is definitely a different feel. It's definitely different than painting on a canvas or painting on paper, because I do my designs on paper before I paint them on the glass. And with that being said, my designs are actually meant to be an inspiration, not necessarily that it has to be done identical to what I painted. It'll be similar because the space that I have on my glassware is not always, well, rarely ever is, the amount that I would have on the paper. So, just so you know, I'm going to pull just a long leaf out this way. And you can add in some yellow, or you can add in some white. Those colors will help to make the paint a little bit more opaque. I'm just going to go down like that. And when you're looking at my videos are intended to be for beginner painters for the most part. Just want to encourage people to get out here and don't be afraid to paint. You know, be creative. It's very relaxing. It's a great way to relax, and I think right now especially we really need that. Whether you're cooped up in your house or only getting out to do grocery shopping or whatnot, it's a difficult time. It really is. Alright. And then I'm just going to come off of these and just do some basic little leaves. Just doing them, keeping them going here. One down here, and then I'm going to pull a little stem into these. Now you can throw in a little bit of brown like I mentioned. That's going to give it more of an olivey look, which I think is pretty too. And just kind of come down here and do that again. I can even on this throw in some of the yellow and just come down and add a little stem in, kind of attach it to this leaf or make it look like it's coming out from, you know, amongst the leaves. It's a very simple pattern, definitely intended to be simple. Well, like I said, with doing this, it could be that there's another vine underneath that these are actually coming off of, but it's hidden because of the bigger leaf showing. If that makes sense. Alright, let's put a couple more at the bottom here, and then we'll Alright, so I have those in. Next thing I'm going to do is take, and I don't think I put any more paint here because I did want to add a little bit more color to this with just, it's an acrylic dowel. It's another thing that I've used to do dot painting with. And I just got this on my paper, excuse me on that one. But anyhow, you take the dowel and then you just stick it in the paint, make sure it's covered nicely, and then I'm just going to use this to put, oh, that did go on very nicely, maybe a little more paint. And it's one of the tools I bought when I was trying to do some more dot painting, do more of the mandala, however you say it, painting, dot painting on rocks and that kind of thing. And I'm just going to stick it down here a little bit. Stick 3 of them over here, but I just got to be careful because I don't want to touch my design on the paper. So it's just since my paintbrush already rolled off onto the paper. But this is kind of a nice tool to make big dots with. And then, let's see, maybe put one clear out here. They're not completely flat, but it's okay. Alright, so here we have it so far. I don't want to get my paint in that. I am going to take the dotting tool. I have my dotting stylus, and I'm going to come onto the flower, or the leaves, not the flowers, but the leaves, and then just do some dotting on them. Now I can come on off the leaves onto the glass. And just do a little bit more finer dots. I'm not going to do it on the big leaves. I could, but just for the purpose of the time frame on the video, I'm not going to do that. I like dots though. And if you don't like this part, by all means, leave it. Leave it off. You don't have to include it. Whoops, just got it into the green. You definitely don't have to include it if you don't wish to. It's kind of fun though. You just want to give it a different look. You could use a different color too. You don't have to use white on it. In fact, you don't have to use these colors at all. Okay, now I'm going to try to be careful here because I really don't want to touch the paint. I don't want to get my my face in the paint that I accidentally have on my paper from my brush rolling off the plate, rolling off my palette. So say if you have any paint around the house and some brushes, doesn't matter if they're old, new, or what kind they are, just sit down and start painting. Give it a try. Give it a try. There's so much you can do with painting just to kind of spruce things up. Now, with this dotting tool, I on my sample put dots in the purple. One thing I'm concerned about here is because the purple's wet, it may not hit nicely, but I'm going to go ahead and do it just to finish up the design. Definitely though, if you're painting something like this and you want to give it drying time, by all means give it drying time. Your design will turn out nicer if you do. Alright, so let's go ahead and get the centers done. I'm going to go ahead and use my Deerfoot Stippler. And you know what, I am really concerned about me putting my thing in this paint. I'm going to, still probably won't save it. Sit here, I don't want to mess it up by folding that up either. Goodness sakes. It's like, oh, I feel like I'm doing in a circus sometimes here. Okay, so I filled up the stippler with the brown, the burnt umber. And I'm just making a pretty good size center in the middle of this made up flower. In my made up flower, alright, then I'm going to do like I do on the other videos with this, is stick the back end into the yellow. And you can do different combinations. I seem to do a lot of yellow in mine. And I'm just basically touching it, tipping it a little bit. And then I can come back over it and just blend it a little bit. Blend it around the edges. If you want to stick some white in, you can. I didn't actually do this in my sample, but you can easily tap in some white. And then go back in. Like I said, on the centers, you can play with them a little bit till you get them the way you want them. And that's the main thing, is that you're getting them to look the way you want them to look. Then I'm going to take my dotting tool again, and just on the bottom portion, I'm going to come around here, and I'm not showing you, come around here and just put in some dots. Like that. And just kind of swing it around on just the bottom part of the center. And there you have it. Alright, so that again is just a very easy design, just kind of a fun, flowing type of a design. It's not difficult at all, meant for beginners, and very pretty. Again, if I were doing this to sell, I would do the design all the way around the vase and not just on the front. For the purpose of the video though, I'm just limiting it to the front of the vase. Alright, so if you like this video, make sure you give me a big thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. When you're done viewing this video, if you would, share this on your social network by hitting the share button underneath. It makes it very, very easy to do. I would appreciate you doing that as well. I thank you again for stopping by my channel. Hope you enjoyed it. And until the next time, you have a good one.